March 27th. A good sleep has worked wonders. I find Grass Valley a romantic little mountain town, about 2,200 feet above the sea level, on the western slope of the Sierra Nevada, opening its existence entirely to gold mining. This did Mr. A's mill, a magnificent quartz crusher, 9 stamps high, each 900 pounds. In weight, we are worked by one of Watt's engines. The fine dust gold collected on blankets or bullocks' hides with the hair on, over which the water washes it, as it comes from stamp heads. Some of the most productive gold deposits in California were discovered in and about this quaint little piece. I descend from a shaft 240 feet. The gold is distributed through the mud and silt of what was clearly an ancient riverbed. March 28th. Ride on horseback to Nevada and Hunt Hills. Nevada is a clean, pretty city with gay shops, brightly painted houses, and planked streets. Near it are the famed hydraulic washings. The gold is disseminated through terraces of shingle conglomerates, often 300 feet in thickness. These terraces are actually washed entirely off by the face off the country by propelling jets of water against them, forced under great pressure through a nozzle to accomplish this. The water is brought in canals, tunnels, and wooden aqueducts, often 40 miles away from the drift. The supply of water the miners rent. As we near the washing spot, in every direction, the immense hose made of galvanized iron and canvas tubes 6 feet round coil in a direction over the ground like the gigantic serpents. Converging toward the gap where they appear. On reaching this gap, I look down into a basin or dry lake 300 feet below me. The hose hangs down this cliff of shingle, and following its hose by a zigzag path, I reach a plateau of rock from which the shingle has already been washed. A man stands at the end of each hose that has for its head a brass nozzle. With the force of a cannon shot, water issues in a large jet from this tube and propelled against the shingle, guided by men, washes it away as easily as we could broom a molehill off the grass. The stream of water bearing it with the materials washed from out the cliff runs through a wooden trough called flumes. Floored with granite, these fumes extend 6 miles. Men are stationed at regular distances to fork out the heavy stones. Throughout its entire length, transverse strips of wood dam back a tiny pond of mercury. These are called rifles, gold traps in other words, that seize on the fine dust distributed throughout the shingle. The flumes are cleaned about once a month and the gold extracted from the mercury. Masses of wood occur in every stage of change, from that of pure silica to soft acid-form material and pure carbon. I am strongly disposed to think that this immense hollow may have been the rocky shore of an inlet or lagoon. The rocks underlaying the shingle have all the appearance. When denuded by the washing of seawear, I try with a powerful lens to detect gold amidst the material they are washing, but not a trace is discoverable, and yet it pays an immense profit to the gold washers. Hunt's Hill is a timbered mountain, about 3,500 feet in altitude. Washing its base is the Greenhorn River, on the banks of which some very rich gold washings are carried on, as well as at Bear Creek on the opposite slope of the ridge. Clothing the hill, towering high above the shanties of the miner, the sugar and nut pines wave lazily. The immense cones of the latter, plentiful besprinkling the ground, afford a feast to the Indians and lesser rodent mammals. March 29th. Returned to Marysville. Visited another hydraulic washing at Timbuktu on the Yuba River. Much the same as that seen at Nevada, Marysville is about the third best city in California. Situated on the bank of the Feather River, which is rapidly filling up from the immense quality of material brought down from the hydraulic washing. A single peach orchard I visited was 200 acres, all fenced up, the trees in beautiful health. From it, I am told, $80,000 were returned in a single year by the sale of peaches. I commenced my journal again on April 24th. I am in the Victor steamboat, a small, crank, flat-bottomed affair pushed against the current by a huge stern wheel. An ugly appendage, but very effective in navigating swift, shallow streams. I am bound for Red Bluff, 275 miles above the Sacramento. Past the exits of the Yuba River and change the yellow, muddy water for the pure, sparkling stream fresh from the mountains. April 25th. Starting again, the Victor, having been fastened up all night, tethered to a tree as one would tie up a horse. The scenery as we wend along the sinuous course of the stream rapidly changes its character. The banks get steep and sharp hills take the high place of the flat islands behind us. Wild grapevines hang in clustering tangles of green luxuriance from the branches of the ilex, oak, and arbutus, forming a continuous arcade over the water. The bluffs are reached, a straggling town built on the high bank, fleeting over the Sacramento River, peeps out from amidst some tall trees. Men and women and children and the dogs are crowding down, marching like ants from a hill towards the recent discovery of eatables. The banks are red and the soil is red, and the houses are built of red brick. Red Bluff, a proper appropriate name. Land and put up at the house, not remarkable for anything but dirt and discomfort. April 26th. Purchased 59 mules with a complete pack and equipment. My mules and men that I had sent by land from Stockton arrive, hire 2 additional hands, and order the provisioning for my intended trip. April 27th. Mules and men need rest. Breakfast over. Now, Captain, says mine host, as I was debating whether it would be wiser to remain quietly at home and enjoy a thoroughly idle day, or join the hunters. I'll calculate we've got to worry about this day somehow. Suppose we take a ride over to the Tuscan Springs. It's a mighty strange place, you bet your life. They say it's right over the devil's kitchen, and when he's tarnation hot, he comes up and pops out his head to get a taste of fresh air. The very water comes rising up a billin', and the pools flash into flame like powder if you put fire near 'em. Why, Major, I replied. It is the place of all others I should enjoy seeing. How far is it? Well, it ain't over 10 miles. But a mighty bad road at that. Here, Joe, saddle up and bring round 2 Mustangs. The Mustangs are small, compact horses, seldom exceeding 14.5 hands in height, descended from the Spanish stock originally brought into Mexico on its conquest by the Spaniards. They run wild in large herds on the grassy prairies in California and Texas, and are just lassoed when needed. I may perhaps mention en passant that a lasso is from 30 to 40 feet long and made of strips of raw hide plaited together. When a Mustang is to be caught, an experienced hand always keeps the herd to windward of him. Sufficiently near, he circles the lasso round his head and with unerring certainty flings it over the neck of the horse he has selected. The end of a lasso being made fast to a ring in the saddle, as soon as the horse is captured, the rider turns his steed sharp round and gallops off, dragging the terrified and choking animal after him. The terrible noose becomes tighter and tighter, pressing on the windpipe, until, unable to offer further resistance, the panic-stricken beast rolls in agony, half suffocated on the prairie. Never after this does the horse forget the lasso. The sight of it makes him tremble in every limb. I have seen the most wild and vicious horse rendered gentle and docile in a minute, by simply laying the lasso on the neck behind the ears.